Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another very interesting deep dive of a show. As in this week's episode, we're going to be looking into the topic of New Earth. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And then later on in this episode, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So then, how is everybody doing? Is everybody settling into this new year of 2025? And this is what has inspired this week's topic. As I say, we're going to be discussing the topic of New Earth. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but there seems to be changes happening left, right, and centre. And it doesn't matter where you're located in the world, on some level, you should be now becoming more aware of these not only vibrational changes, but changes in the environment, also people's behaviour, and also just a general change. And so this is what we're going to look at and explore and share some observations with one another. So first of all, I've noticed vibrational changes in the atmosphere. And most of you know that I live in the United Kingdom, and there's certainly a lot of changes happening here. And from my experience, vibrationally, there seems to be a lot of sort of chaotic energy that's out and about. And this is probably why more so now than ever, I find myself squirreling away, hiding away to avoid conflict with some of these energies. And what I mean by conflict, excuse me, is the fact that everything's changing, everything's moving. And in this thick soup of energy, there's a little bit of chaos occurring that's having an impact on societies and the way that we interact with one another. And so I've been noticing these vibrational changes where slowly but surely people are changing and the environment is changing. When I say environment, I'm talking about the way that it appears and the way that it feels on a vibrational level. So I've noticed the way that it appears, first of all. It seems to have taken on a different appearance, certainly where I'm located. It lacks that sense of sparkle like it once did. And it's almost as if people are giving up, in the environment where I live, and there's a lack of finances being spent on the area, and it's just not as lustrous, shall we say, as it once was. However, there is still a glimmer of hope because people's spirits are still carrying on. But I've certainly noticed, like I say, it just appears different. In some areas where I live, it appears very grey, very dull, very bleak. And whether this is, the time of year, January that we're in, I don't know. But it just appears visually differently than what it has done in previous years. And this is just my observations. Also, like I say, the energy in the environment, it has changed as well. People seem to be sort of sticking in their own lane with their head down and just trying to get on and make the most of where they're at. Also, the energy of the environments. There's certain locations where I go locally, and I can only tolerate the vibration in these areas for small amounts of time because, like I say, of this thick vibrational soup, this mishmash, if we like, of vibrations that are occurring. Now, I would use the analogy, it's almost as if when you're tuning into a radio station and you're wanting a definitive radio channel, And yet you can't seem to get the clarity, the definition, the sound, the quality of that channel, because it is bombarded with other channels and other frequencies. So you'll get that sort of in and out of other radio shows and sounds, and you don't get a pure signal of that you're wanting to listen to. And that analogy, I would say, describes what I'm observing at this moment in time. There is this sort of chaotic energy that's around. We're on the cusp of change, and people are finding it hard to navigate their way through their daily lives. And partly, I would say this is to do with Mother Earth having an impact on the environment, which we're all connected to Mother Earth. So in turn, that is, I would say, scrambling our decoding systems in some way. And we all have different ways of perceiving the environments in which we're living in and we're visiting. And I feel as though this is having an impact on the way that we perceive things. Potentially, this is why I see certain areas near me giving off that sort of grey, that dull, that lifeless, on the end of the throes of the vibration that it once was. Perhaps that's why I'm seeing it in that way, because I'm picking up on this mishmash of energy, and it's enabling me to maybe perceive it slightly different. Who knows? But these are just observations that I'm sharing with you, and maybe just to inspire you, just to take more notice of where you're at in your life, and also your environment. And if you've noticed any of these subtle changes, because they're not immediate. And I say they're not immediate because simply most of us are very consumed with our own day-to-day lives. We're busy working, we're busy raising families and, keeping a roof over our head to even notice these changes. But every now and again, I would encourage you to maybe just take those out of your mind, just be present in your location and your environment, and rather than colouring it with a past belief system of what that environment once was, start and see it as it is now, and just holding that space for present moment awareness. And if you're like me, you'll start to notice, hang on a minute, I didn't notice that a few weeks ago. Hang on a minute, that feels different in that location. It never used to feel that way. And so I'm encouraging you to maybe do this in your surroundings, and this will encourage you actually to notice and observe some of these shifts in New Earth, as I would like to call it. You'll also notice, I would say, our people's attitudes are changing. Even if you're just observing people, looking at their body language, the way that they communicate with one another, there seems to be a shift in people's vibration to the point where a lot of people haven't got the time of day anymore. People are continually busy, or they just get very agitated and triggered by other people's opinions. And there's this feeling of frustration, irritation there, and just like, I'm fed up of it all. There's this sort of energy out there, and I don't wish to sound negative by saying these things. I'm just sharing the observations that I've witnessed personally. But potentially, I would say that this occurs when there's an energy shift, and people start to, like I say, the end of an era start to change. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where they're at. And it causes a lot of frustration. And in many respects, some of these agitated people I've witnessed are merely playing out and releasing some of those old belief systems, those old energies, allowing those old frustrations to come to the surface and to be vented so that they can be released and healed in order to create that space to usher in a new vibration that they can operate on. Like I said earlier, with the frequencies, the analogy with the frequencies of different radio channels all crossing over one another, there's no clarity there. And so this has also had an impact on people's behavior because of that. People are finding it difficult to see their way out, the light at the end of the tunnel with their day-to-day lives. as well. And it's also causing this frustration. This sounds very negative, doesn't it? And it's not intended to be, not in the slightest. This is just observational conversations with you, just to shine a little bit of light on what's occurring in and around your environment and also the societies that you live amongst, because we're all going through this shift, this change. And I don't know if anybody else has also noticed this, that because of this, it's causing some sort of energetic split in societies. Like I said earlier, there's this confusion and a need to resolve situations, but, it's almost as if everybody's looking for a superhero or somebody to come and rescue them and give them the answers, so that they're not facing this confusion and frustration anymore. And there's that sort of energy that's around. And people, I would say, from what my guides have said and through the channelings, they've made the comment that we all need to now, more so than ever, to get to know ourselves, to go within, to feel into situations rather than following the herd, rather than believing things. We need to go into our own truth and be comfortable in our own environment whilst we're discovering our own truths. And it's from that place of finding our own truth, this is where that confusion starts to dissipate. And we no longer need a superhero, a leader, somebody to tell us what to do, what we need to do to get ourselves out of this confusion, because we're actually allowing ourselves to touch base with our true essence and feel into the answers that we all seek and that we all need. We all have different needs, and we all need help on different levels within our lives. And so by tuning in and finding that the answers are literally right under our nose when we take that time out. Meditation is a marvelous tool to use to get yourself nice and relaxed, to stop the chaos that's happening in your mind, the questions, the where's, the what's, the when's, the where's, the who's, to take all of that out and just feel into life. And more so now than ever, what I've observed personally for 2025 is the fact that this year so far, it feels like, yes, it's okay to make plans, but from my experience, ease your way into life, take one step at a time. Things can change in a blink of an eye. So don't be too committed or sort of invested in certain key points or plans that you've made for this year. Be open and be observant of your internal calling. Remember what we said earlier about the answers. You already have the answers. You've already connected to the best timeline, and it's a case of stepping outside of your own way and just allowing yourself to flow with this energy and to trust that everything is working out for your divine good. It's all working out for you, not against you, even though at times it can appear that way, that it's working against you. But when you tune into the internal world, your feelings, your emotions, and trust, then you start to see the bigger picture, and you begin to recognize that things are actually, when you take that time out and just ease into life this year, this is what I'm observing anyway, that things have a way of just falling in your lap at the right place at the right time. Let's talk about the truth vibrations. And what I mean by that is, with this new earth, there's a lot of untruths that are being, shall we say, discovered and are coming up to the surface. Now, these untruths and these manipulations can be seen everywhere worldwide. Most commonly than not, in the political world, the political system, the way the financial system is being managed and organized and used in a way that doesn't benefit all. And also in terms of, I would say, media coverage, And we could go on with this list, but a lot of you listening to this will be at a point in your life where energetically you can see these old systems now coming to the surface. The truth is being prevailed to you. And on most cases, it can be quite shocking because we haven't been aware of it, and yet it's been happening all along under our nose. I'm not going to go into depth or detail with what's coming up to the surface, but I will say that you will be starting to observe it, and it's creating this hysteria, this panic, because it's triggering people, and it's going to do, because people feel used, they feel manipulated, and in many respects, they have been. So with you understanding and observing these old energies coming up to the surface, the truth vibrations, willing it all out, then this puts you on a different timeline, a different trajectory, where you have the choice to believe or not to believe, where you have, and this is where the confusion comes in, because you're told so many different things from various different sources worldwide about what the actual facts are. And the facts are changing every moment, and it's so difficult to believe any of them. So it's like my guides have said and advised, it's more important now than ever to tune into your vibrations, to get quiet, meditate if you can, and listen to that inner ding, that inner calling, the inner vibrations that are going to detect what is truth and what is lies. And so even if, say, a news report is stating these facts and saying this and that and the other, and yet you're feeling in your instincts, you feel like there's a block of some way, shape or form in that information that's been shared with you. And yet everybody around you is believing the narrative, yet you feel it in your instincts. Now, more now than ever, it will pay you to trust your instincts, even if you're in the minority of one, because at the end of the day, energy doesn't lie. So when you're tapping into the energy, you'll have a sense and a feeling of what information is true, what information is false. So trust your instincts with this as well. Like we say, a lot of the old is coming up to the surface to be recognized. A lot of it can be triggering, it can be shocking in its content, very disturbing in most cases, but it's coming up because the energy has changed, the frequency has changed, and these old systems can no longer operate or exist in these new frequencies because they can't manipulate the energy as easy as what they once did. And I say they, I'm talking about the powers that be, so-called powers that be, that have controlled this planet for quite some time. With this being said, many of you will be observing lots of different leaderships changing all around the world, governments and political parties and things of that nature. And this is because the vibration isn't sitting right with the new changes that are happening in the earth. And so they have to get a different personality, a different slant on it, so it can be more controllable for the people that are investing their time and energy into it. And this is why there has been lots of shifts and changes with leadership roles there as well, because again, people are feeling those truth vibrations and they're not aligning with the individuals that are supposedly meant to be representing them on some level there. So, wow, we're diving properly deep today, and it's a conversation that I wasn't intending on discussing in this depth, but it needs to be said. My guides are certainly influencing me to make you all aware of what's happening in your environments. Also, with these leaderships, agendas are being pushed to the edge, and they're taking it right to the edge there. They're seeing how far they can get away with some of these shall we say, untruths, manipulations of facts with people, it is becoming, like we say, increasingly more difficult for the powers that be to actually hoodwink a lot of the general population, because of these truth vibrations, and people's vibrations have changed. They're more aware of when they're being manipulated or controlled, because they feel it. They feel it. It's not necessarily about the facts anymore and the information. People are moving beyond that in their vibration. Some people aren't quite there yet, and like my guides were suggesting, but to enable you to get there is to remove your vibration, get into meditation and go within and get in harmonious frequency with yourself. And when you do, you'll start to notice a lot of these changes more. It will become very obvious to you. So like we say, some of the things that you witness won't be very nice, will trigger you. And it's a case of taking one step at a time, moving through it, but feeling that joy, feeling that love, feeling that positivity in your heart and in your being. And it is that energy that's going to pull you forward through this transformation that we're all witnessing. Also, I would say, with this being the case, with people connecting in and understanding their own vibration on a deeper level than perhaps they've done for millennia, shall we say, people are starting to take back their divine sovereignty, taking their power back, understanding that they are the answer, they are the superhero, they are the answer to their own questions. They can make a change by putting their attention onto positivity that's going to benefit one and all in society. And with this being said, it's going to start, and you can see it forming already, different pockets of the community forming their own communities, I would say. And people are starting to, it's been happening for years, but it's becoming more obvious now, starting to form their own collectives, like people that vibrate in a certain way. They like a certain style of lifestyle. They don't want to be in agreement with the lifestyles that is sort of forced upon us, you know. People who want to go off grid. A lot of people are going back to nature and are gravitating towards spending more time in nature, even if they live in a town or a city, of a weekend or whenever they get the opportunity to do so. They find themselves actually just getting out in nature and feeling calm, feeling relaxed, taking in that beautiful fresh air there, and also the bombardment of people's thoughts, emotions, energy, the frequencies from technology, the Wi-Fi, the radio waves, and all of that chaos that is happening in our towns and cities there. They're getting out into the countryside where they can establish that sense of peace, serenity, helps them to ground their energies and to be more present. And it actually lowers the blood pressure as well, stops that anxiety feeling, and also reduces the adrenaline rush that most of us are operating under every single day of our lives. And the adrenaline rush is that feeling where I've got to get up, I've got to be there on time, I've got to do this, I've got to pay that bill, I've got to do this. And it's like moving from fear, isn't it? We're operating on that. And so a lot of people are gravitating, spending more time in nature to remove themselves from the chaos of the towns and the cities there. And I've got to say that I'm included in that. You know, I do feel the calling to go out near oceans and, countryside and places of interest like that. I feel it's such a tonic for me to actually spend time in that energy. And I come back feeling more empowered, refreshed, more inspiration. And I just feel like a completely different person once I've done that. But with me talking about this, like I say, I've observed, and what my guides have said as well, it's going to continue to evolve, where lots of people are going to take their time and energy away from these environments such as towns and cities, and they're wanting that sort of community feel again, that sense of belonging with like-minded individuals where they can feel calm, relaxed, and also feel like their voice is being heard and acted upon as well. In societies that have a win-win-win mentality rather than, don't do what I say, not what I do mentality. So this is changing. And I dare say a lot of you listening to me chattering on here will be observing these things. And it's becoming more stronger than it once did, definitely. But also there's a lot of, most of you will be aware of this, a lot of distractions that are occurring in our society, in the media, misinformation. One minute we're told a piece of information, the next minute somebody's contradicting that information to give us something else. Then we have the social media platforms that are churning out even news feeds, news clips, people's opinions on those news clips. And I don't know about anybody else, but there's a lot of nonsense on the social media that I've observed. And I don't wish to sound judgmental, but I'm just sharing my observations. There's videos on there that aren't actually adding value to anybody's life as such. I would almost call them bubblegum for the mind. So they're not sort of giving your brain any intelligence, any sustenance of any kind. They're just keeping your mind distracted and busy, so that you can't process what's really happening in the world. And some of these videos are getting astronomical views and hits, and they're being encouraged. They're being promoted by a lot of these social media platforms because it's providing that bubblegum for the mind. No sustenance whatsoever. It's just sort of keeping the mind distracted. And of course, a lot of the agendas that are out there, this is what they're promoting. This is what they are wanting. They're wanting people to be distracted in their mind. They don't want people to notice the changes in vibrations and in the environment and in the policies and the leaderships. They want people to stay in ignorance of all of those things. And then that way they're more easily manipulated and controlled. So there's a lot of this that's happening, and it, like I say, a lot of money, a lot of time is being invested. And I don't wish to judge people on there, but there's people just talking about, I had chips today for my dinner. And that's it. Great. I'm glad that you like eating chips. Well done. But what value is that adding to anybody else's mind? Is that adding expansion? Is that encouraging people to think for themselves? Is that encouraging people to see the bigger picture and what's actually happening in the world, energetically, emotionally, mentally, with the societal changes? And the answer to that, no, it isn't. No, it's a form of distraction. I don't know. I didn't want to go down this avenue, but it's certainly taken this tangent, hasn't it? But I wanted to certainly make you aware what is actually happening, and that it is now time for you to go within, to seek your own vibration, get in harmonic resonance with your own vibration, get yourself grounded, get yourself present, start and observe what is actually happening around you, rather than the illusion in your mind that has been created by, propaganda and society. It's time to take your power back, time to see what's really happening right in front of you there as well. And to enable you to do that, the best tool I could suggest is to get out of your mind. And I'm not talking about substances or anything like that. I'm talking about shifting your focus from your mind to your heart, to your feelings, the the information that your heart will give you, the truth vibrations, and it will also help you navigate your way through these changes that we're all witnessing and that we're all experiencing, rather than searching out for a hero or somebody to save you. Tune into your heart. It will never let you down, and trust the vibrations of that. At times, when you do feel those truth vibrations emanating through your heart, it will potentially trigger the thoughts in your mind where you doubt what you're feeling, you second guess what you're feeling, and you'll want to go into old habits because that's all you know. This new vibration is encouraging you to feel into life, to trust the flow. You don't need to know all of the answers. All you need to do is feel into it rather than intellectualizing things. And you'll notice that your life will move effortlessly into this new vibration with no resistance. And in doing so, you'll be able to create the life that you desire. You'll be able to put your time, attention, and vibration on the things that bring you joy to both yourself and your family and your community that you're involved in. And then together you can create your very own version of heaven on earth by focusing within instead of focusing externally. So I hope that has given you something to think about. A little bit different today, the conversation that we had, but it was like the elephant in the room, so to speak. And my guides inspired me certainly to talk about this and bring it to as many people's attention as possible, just simply because there's not many people. There are a few people having this conversation, but there's not many people doing it. And so hopefully this has given you food for thought, nourishment for the mind, and you can take your power back and create the life that you desire. We're now moving into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel to bring these spirit communicators through and the wisdom that they wish to share with us all. And just talking a little bit about this before we start and move into that, I actually run an online trance mediumship development circle for anybody that is interested and is wanting to maybe enhance their abilities in channeling spirit and communicators and wisdom. Ideally, what I do advise is that you have an understanding and a development already in place with your natural spiritual gifts and abilities, such as mediumship, to the point where you understand your chakras, you understand the auric field, and also you have a connection with your spirit guide there. Ideally, you want to be having a regular meditation practice, the calming of the mind, and also, a discipline in your life where you're of a more high vibrational nature in order for this class to be of benefit to you. That way you'll be able to take not only your trance mediumship further and expand on that, but also expand as your energies heighten with your spiritual gifts and abilities also. So if you are interested in wanting to take part in that class, then please do send me a message, and you can contact me on any of my social media platforms or my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, if you are interested in that. Also, I wanted to just inquire with everybody, how's everybody doing? We're coming to the end of the month of January of 2025, and I don't know about everybody else's experiences of it, but for me, it's been a gentle meandering. It's been a treading water of a month there, a slow progression. And it's been needed, I must admit, because last year was very hectic, very busy personally for me. And I needed that, I feel. I needed that just to get my bearings, to get my balance, get my vibration right, and also to be open to receive some inspirational ideas as well. And incidentally with that, I'm happy to announce to you that I'm now working on my third book. And I'm very excited to tell you that. I'm not going to go into any detail about it at this stage because, like I say, it is in work in progress. But I will tell you this, it's going to be a very interesting deep dive into the mechanics of working with spirit. That's all I'm going to say. I'll also tell you that it will be available as an audiobook. It will be available as a paperback version and also an ebook when it is ready. But at this stage, I'm still in production with that. So I just thought I'd share that with you, a little bit of an update, what's happening behind the scenes here with my spirit team and myself there. And so you've got that to look forward to later on in the year at some point, but I will let you know when it's all ready to be birthed, so to speak. But anyway, how is everybody? What have you been up to? Have you been finding that this month of January has been a rather nice sort of gentle sloping into the year? It certainly has felt like that for me. And like I say, I feel very grateful and blessed to have had that opportunity to slow down a little bit and stop controlling things. It's certainly done me the world of good. Anyway, as I say, we're going to move into this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you wish, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of spirit.
I would like you to be more gentle with yourself. You have been pushing far too hard over these past 12 months, and it's now time to move with ease and grace, and to move with a different tact. In other words, we want you to trust the vibrations of love that is pouring through you. The vibrations of love doesn't have any resistance. The vibrations of love just knows, it trusts, it feels, it senses, and it helps to guide you on your pathway. We do not wish to see you struggle any longer, if vexing yourself in your mind, going over things in your mind on a loop and trying to work things out and solve the problems, or perceive problems as you would perceive them. Instead, we want you to connect with the vibration of love and understand that love is the answer and it knows everything. So trust in that. A way of trusting that is by looking at every problem with this in mind. So are you responding from love or fear? Fear wants to block and put obstacles in the way of progress, whereas love wants to flow and find a way through the path of least resistance. This will bring forward some amazing opportunities your way when you step into love and in the vibration of flow. We understand this sounds very simplistic when we put it in this fashion, and it is. It's just a case of you wrestling with your own inner turmoils, with your mind and with your belief systems, and the way that you perceived your life to unfold. It sees you wrestling with those ideals and putting that to one side and having, one would call, an empty or blank canvas to work with, where there's no attachment, no agenda to any outcome, only that of love and free-flowing feelings that are coursing through you in each and every moment. And when you trust those feelings and just take life one moment at a time, you'll notice that life will work out for you far beyond anything you have conceptualized in your mind or indeed designed for yourself. It will flow effortlessly into your highest timeline. We talk about this because for most of you that are listening and are engaging in this recording, we're talking to you because this year of 2025, for those of you that are making this decision to step outside of the way and go with the vibration of love and trust, will experience this on a massive scale. There'll be facets of your life that will improve far beyond your own imagination and your own limitations. And it's going to be a fantastic experience for you. The problems that you've placed in front of yourself, you'll find will be dissolved as you move into this vibration of love. And one can't put into words any strongly than what we're doing. All we can say is it is so, and you have the power to make it so. And so believe in yourself and believe in this coursing energy that is propelling you forward on your highest timeline. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to come to some sort of dead end, so to speak, and we mean that in the way that we mean that is you're not going to be able to go past your own thoughts, your own visions, your own knowledge that you've acquired over the course of your life. Your belief systems will be challenged, and it's when you move beyond them and let them go and don't invest your energy or your time, attention, your emotions in these belief systems, that is where you're going to find pure gold in your life. Your life will flow effortlessly, seamlessly to that of your highest intentions, your highest timeline. So step outside of the way. Stop attaching yourself to people, things, scenarios, because you're only slowing the process down and holding yourself back from receiving the beautiful life that you've came here on this planet to accomplish and to move into. We hope this has given you a degree of comfort and understanding and if anything, encouragement, so that you can move forward with ease and grace. I'd like to finish this and move over to another communicator that is wanting to come forward to speak to you in this session. So thank you for listening to our words, and we bid you a farewell, and we look forward to communicating with you very soon. Goodbye for now.
It is an honor and a pleasure to come through in this manner. We have lots to talk to you about, but we're going to come forward in small pieces so that you can understand what we're trying to achieve. We wanting to let you know that there's going to be a big shift, as we've been telling you for quite some time in 2025, where the veils are thinning, the veils between your reality in which you know it and that of alternate universes and dimensions. All this will be occurring around you at the same place, same time. And in doing so, you need to be prepared for it, because as a human having this experience, it will feel quite peculiar and unusual to you, because 1 minute you'll be consciously aware of your present moment consciousness, and the next second it will feel like you've gone into a different dream state, almost as if you're daydreaming. And we would say to you, no, you're not daydreaming. You're flipping in and out of timelines, different realities, and it will happen in a brief moment. Yet, in your Earth time, when this happens in a brief moment, a split second, if you will, your experience will feel like a lifetime, so to speak. It will feel longer than what, a second can feel like on the other dimensions, can feel like 2 years in your timeline, if that makes sense. And you'll be going in and out of this consciousness in order to get a bigger picture, a bigger scope of what's really occurring around you. So we wanted to come forward and just to let you know about these things that are occurring and will continue to occur moving forward. And so there's also going to be lots of sightings. And what we mean by that is you will start to see beings of a different vibration entering your reality. You are also going to see lots of different coloured mists, flashing lights, spirit beings coming in and out of your dimension. You'll know that they're spirit beings because they will start off as a mist format, and then that mist will get solid and start to form into a person, an animal, or a being of some kind, and then it will dissipate into the ether again once it's finished its reason for being in your dimension. So we don't want to alarm you, we don't want to frighten or scare you, but this is certainly what will be occurring moving forward, as all of these dimensions and frequencies are now becoming more obvious to one another, and this is because your vibration as a human species is heightening. Those that choose to walk the walk on this vibration will notice these things first ahead of everybody else, and this is because your vibration is heightening and you're able to see different realities all occurring in the same space. So we just thought we'd give you that information ahead of it unfolding for you, because you're not too far away from having that experience. just so that you're understanding that no harm will come to you. You are starting to see the realities and the truths of the situations that are occurring around you. Despite all of the history books have told you, and all of the lessons and belief systems of others have told you, it's not necessarily the truth. And you will feel into that as you have these experiences. You will notice the truth vibration, so to speak, will resonate higher. And as the previous communicator has said about love vibration, it will have a flow about it. It will have a sincerity. There's no need to place any roadblocks or any obstructions in front of pure truth. It will just flow. And this is the way that you understand and realize that what you are encountering is truth vibrations. So thank you for listening. We bid you a farewell, and we look forward to bringing forward these insights and wisdoms to you very soon. Have a wonderful week, and we look forward to your company very soon. God bless, take care, and we wish you well on your pathway.
Fantastic communication there from the world of spirit. Very interesting to hear about us being gentle with ourselves, that we need to trust more. And also it's advised that we remove some of those resistant bands that we've been placing in front of ourselves with the opportunities that are here for us as well. And to allow ourselves to become a blank canvas. So releasing the urge to control situations. So this way the highest timelines can connect with our vibration, and we can live a more fruitful existence there. By connecting with the frequencies of love will help us to do this. Also interesting to hear by the second communicator about the big shift that is coming, that is already here. The veil is thinning between dimensions there. So just be vigilant about spotting different beings from different veils coming forward and placing their vibration near yours. Don't be alarmed. They're not here to harm or hurt us in any way. It's just us heightening our vibration, being more aware of these alternate realities all occurring in our current reality, if that makes sense there. So I hope you enjoyed that. We're now going to move into this week's forecast reading. So sit back, relax, take some notes if you wish to do so, and enjoy this week's forecast reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 3rd of February 2025. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. Right on cue, this card wanted to be known and recognized, so here it is. I'm going to link into the feeling and vibration of this card. First of all, I feel this week what you will be experiencing is time speeding up, and I feel there'll be the old version of yourself that'll be having a little bit of anxiety with this, because you'll be concerned and worried that you're not going to get all of your tasks, your jobs, your routine fit into your days, because I feel as though there's going to be additional opportunities entering your life this week. So don't panic. The Creator, the universe, sees the bigger picture and knows exactly what you can handle and what you are capable of. So trust, I feel, is the key word for this week. Also, what I'm feeling is I'm feeling a shift between the old version of yourself moving into the new version of yourself, moving into a new chapter. And what I mean by this, I'm referring to the way that you behave, the way that you thought, your emotions. A lot of these old things, it's almost as if you're shedding skins and you're being rebirthed into a new version of self, a more streamlined version of self, where some of those roadblocks and those energetic resistance bands that you've been placing in front of yourself are going to be removed. Hence, this is why this week is speeding up and more opportunities are coming into your life, because a lot of those things have been removed. However, this doesn't stop you grieving that old version of self. And this can be a beautiful process, a respectful process when you go through this
bereavement of the old version of self. However, do not be afraid to let it go. Show gratitude, let it go, and move into uncharted territory where you're going to move into a new timeline. Also this week, what I am feeling is in the back of my neck, some tension. And I feel as a lot of you watching this will experience this tension in the back of your neck. I don't feel there's anything medical to concern yourself about. What I feel it is I feel as though it's this bridge, this connection between mind and body. And I feel that there's some blockages in the neck. These are being removed by your spirit team, by the angels there, to enable you to flow and flourish into your new timeline. So do watch out for that. I'm just hearing the words rest, rest, rest when you feel the urge to do so. So what I mean by that, for example, if you have a regime or routine of going to bed at 10 p.m. of an evening, one of those days in this week, and you feel particularly drained, don't stay up till that time. If you're feeling drained, go to bed a bit earlier. Nobody's going to think less of you for doing that. I've also got to say, watch out for your sinuses this week, as I do feel as though there's a shift again in your vibration, and it will see you letting go of some of this, forgive me for saying it, but mucus out of your system. Blockages, I feel, what you have been carrying. So don't worry, make sure you're having plenty of vitamin C, plenty of rest, and also getting that balance right with productive exercise. So do watch out for that this week. In terms of your heart chakra, it's going to be opening up, and you're not going to have an agenda anymore. It's just going to be free flowing, and I feel as though your emotions are going to just find their way out into the universe, and you just got to be open to receiving this love in abundance this week. So be ready. So let's turn over the card for you. Okay, so the top of the card, it says 9 of Raphael. Number 9, I'd like you to research that as an angel number, as it will give you additional content and information. Also, number 9, it references coming to the end of a chapter. We mentioned that earlier about shedding skins, letting go of the old version of yourself, birthing into a new version of self. So I feel that is what that represents. Raphael, I'm going to feel into that energy, and to me it feels rather playful, rather childlike vibration, where it sees you actually embodying that inner child, that sense of curiosity, the sense of play, the sense of adventure that you've been denying yourself from experiencing over these past couple of years. It's time to stop adulting so hard like you have been doing, and it's time to have more fun and embrace life. Let's read the information at the bottom of the card. It reads, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time of life. And what a beautiful confirmational message there to coincide with what Spirit have said already about you moving into this new timeline where the roadblocks that you've been placing in front of yourself are now going to be removed and released so that you can experience the abundance that is already here for you. It's now time for you to be open to receive that. Taking a look around the artwork of the card, around the edge, we have this colour of green. To me, green represents the go-ahead, the green light, go for it. It also represents growth in your life, expansion, and also it's referring to your heart chakra. I feel in this instance it's talking about trusting the emotions and feelings, that intuitive wisdom that you're getting in your heart chakra, as this is going to be your ultimate guidance system in this week. Also, what I'm getting with this card, I'm drawn, it's not very often I'm drawn to this, but I'm drawn to that yellow border around the artwork there. Yellow to me is telling you to trust your gut instincts. It's also talking about energy, vitality as well this week. So if you do start to feel a little bit hyperactive, this is because that energy to birth you into your new timeline, to your new chapter, is around yourself there. So use this energy wisely and productively when you feel inspired to do so. Looking in the artwork itself, we've got this gentleman, almost looks like a genie holding a lamp. In fact, I think that's what it's representing. So the male energy is talking about the
the get up and go, the needing to be a provider, the needing to hunt and gather, that sort of vibration. But also, it's also telling you to calm that down a little bit. Stop trying to force things to happen. Stop trying to organize things to happen. It's time to just put your thoughts out there and actually trust that the universe has your back, and it's bringing this beautiful bounty of abundance into your life there. As you would expect, the genie is often referred to or remembered by asking you to make a wish. Well, it's meant to be 3 wishes according to legend, but actually what the universe is saying is its infinite amount of wishes. And why wish for something? Why not just ask for something instead? And there's a difference. When you wish, there's that sort of, yeah, it might happen, it might not. When you ask, the universe always says yes. So be aware of that. That's the difference. That's the change in your vibration. When you ask, be willing to receive. Also, there's a dog in this picture there. So that's talking about a companion is going to be by your side. For those of you that are single or are looking for love, watch out, let your radar be open, because I do feel as though there's a new vibration entering your life. So be open to receiving that love. Those of you that are in a relationship, watch out for this love coming in more abundance with no agendas. This beautiful confirmation of passion as well entering your life. So there is going to be a shift in all of your vibrations in connection to your heart there and companionship. So do watch out for that this week. Also, it's telling you to be sure of yourself, have more confidence within yourself this week. And it's telling you to leave your emotions in the past. Let them go. You don't need them where you're going anytime soon. So that's what I picked up for this week's forecast reading. I hope that aligns with you. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading, you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a buy me a coffee link either above or below this video. And this is a virtual tip jar, so all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people raise their vibration on their pathway. Also, if you would like a private reading with myself, head over to my website, www.glenboddice.spiritualmedium.com, and you can book in directly with me there. And please join me every Monday with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. And that is broadcasted on all of my social media and also my website. Have a fabulous week, everybody. God bless. Bye for now.
Well, it sounds like we're in for a fascinating week this week, doesn't it, with the sound of that? And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm certainly looking forward to life, moving forward a little bit. And it's nice to hear about that abundance and the change in our vibration as we do that. So I hope that has given you some encouragement and inspiration for the course of this week. Can I also ask you if you have any questions that you would like to ask the show in regard to anything spiritual, paranormal or self-help? I would be more than happy to answer any of your questions within the show, any queries that you have around these topics. And the way that you can contact me is via my website, www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com. You can also email me directly at glenboddice@live.co.uk. And it would be, again, fascinating to hear of any of your input or feedback on the show. So, yes, please do get in touch. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week's show that has been brought to you by Spirit, the inspiration, the channeling, and of course the forecast reading. And I do hope that you can either take some knowledge, wisdom, or a different perspective to embody into your day-to-day life there. That is the intention of doing these shows, to inspire, to help, to heal, to guide, and just to be of service to the greatest good there, and allow Spirit this platform to bring their wisdom and communications through. So I hope you've enjoyed it nevertheless. Anyway, I'd like to wish you all a fantastic week ahead. Whatever it is you have planned and what you're doing, do it with love, connect in with the heart, feel your intuition guiding you forward. And I want to say, get out of your head and remove those energy blocks that have been stopping you living in your highest timeline. So you can join me next Monday, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, on all of my social media platforms and my website with this radio show. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you for
listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium